I was never going to see that baby if I didn't sort this problem out.
You were trying to make sales, but you just couldn't see the wood through the trees. You had no clarity about the specific next steps for you. You've just made me think then, I need to be more aware of the journey that me and Hal have been on. And like the problem with what you were doing and what like loads of other people do as well is, Chris, what was your business like before you came to Socials to Sales?
To be honest, I was struggling. It was very sporadic in terms of the sales that I was doing, maybe one a month, if that. And I was trying to do it alongside my full-time job.
And were the sales coming from social media?
Yes, through LinkedIn specifically.
Okay, so how did that feel for you with the sporadic sales?
It was a real pain point for me. I think at the time I was trying to start a family and I realised that working 80 hours in a hotel that was going to be unfair to the child, and I was really trying to get out of the job so I could create this business.
How long was that going on for?
I would have said 3 years.
And then what did you see as like the real bottleneck for you then with the business that you were trying to solve?
Purely just sales. I was struggling to bring clients into my business.
And it's because you didn't know how to, or was it a skill gap?
Yeah, I think it was a knowledge gap for sure. I had an idea that posting on social media was the right thing to do, and I was getting some traction through LinkedIn, but as I said, it was very sporadic. There was no consistent leads coming in.
Okay, and so for the effort you were putting in to your content, to posting, to messaging your leads, what was the sort of result that was coming out the back end? Was it equal to or less than?
Oh, less, 100%. I'm not one that just sits back and expects business to come to me. I was actively trying to get clients because I had that pain point that I wanted to get out of a job, and I knew I needed more sales to do that. I was putting in a hell of a lot of effort to try and get these clients.
How did that feel for you?
It was horrific. Just a horrible feeling, and we were trying to have a baby at the time, and I just knew that I was never going to see that baby if I didn't sort this problem out.
And the thing with you is you were actually posting, weren't you?
Yeah, I was posting. I've been posting on LinkedIn every day for 5 years now.
And like the problem with what you were doing and what like loads of other people do as well is they lack emotion in their content. Having emotion in content is the way that you move people. Think about it. When someone says something, people say, I feel moved by what they said. Yeah, emotion has the word motion in it. So to make people moved and to make them make an action without thinking through content, you have to have emotion and feelings within the content, as opposed to just listing, here's what I do, who's here it's for. That's what was missing from your content. But I also remember that you had a sales issue too.
Yes, I did. Yeah, 100%. Once I got people on calls, I was struggling to convert them 100%.
What did we fix with that?
I think just the sales training that I got from experienced operators like you guys was a great help, and I was able to, for me, it's not just about selling, it's about solving a problem, and I was able to sort of structure those calls so that I could dig into what their pain point was, what was their problem, and then I could use my offer to solve it.
Hal gave you that, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the thing that you needed the most was that you knew there was a problem. The business didn't feel quite right as many other people feel. You were posting content, you were trying to make sales, but you just couldn't see the wood through the trees. You had no clarity about the specific next steps for you. Is right?
Absolutely, yeah, 100%, bang on.
So you don't have to speak about revenue if you don't want to, although I'm sure people will appreciate it. Where were you in terms of the amount of sales you were making from social media at the beginning to where you are now, or after working with us?
So my clients are charged around 5k for sourcing them a property, and I was doing probably one every 3 or 4 months sporadically. So it was very slow moving. Obviously I had the full-time job alongside that, but it wasn't a business, it was more of a hobby. In terms of what I'm doing now, I'm consistently doing 10k months.
Wow.
Yeah, which is a huge transition, and I'm actually doing this full time now.
Amazing, it's amazing to hear. So what's the business constraint for you now then?
I think for me it's moving from a hobby to a business and really looking at where the issues are in my business, and I think definitely it's about how I'm dealing with the leads, and because I'm fulfilling my business, finding properties for my clients, sometimes leads that come in aren't gotten too quick enough, so it's about creating a structure now in my business that those leads can be qualified and then sent to me to have calls with.
And how quickly are you getting to those leads?
Very slowly at the moment. Sometimes it can be a week, sometimes it can be a bit longer.
Right, so there's a massive constraint for you immediately, and like we said before, that building this business for you is just about finding the initial bottleneck that you have, the immediate one, and immediately solving it. speed to lead will kill your sales moving forward. If it's taking you a week, even 3 days to get back to a lead, they've forgotten who you are and they've looked for the next option.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of privileged to have that problem, because before I was with Social to Sales, I didn't have that bottleneck because there wasn't leads coming in. And now I've got that volume of leads coming in. The reason I can't get to them on time is because of that volume. And I've now identified that I need to bring someone in so that I can accommodate that volume. And I think I'm just grateful that I'm in that position. But as you said, there's always a business problem in your own business, and you're trying to solve that. And this is what I'm trying to solve at the moment. But bringing someone in, I think, will enable me to qualify those leads quicker and get them to a sales call.
I think that's a great attitude as well. You've just made me think then I need to be more aware of the journey that me and Hal have been on. You know, looking back, everything for me and Hal, the core value that we have in our business is progress. Progress, progress, progress. And in doing so, you're constantly looking forward, never looking backwards. It's actually important to know that, hang on a second, this is a good business problem to have. You know, whereas I might grill you, and I did grill you before getting onto camera, about how long it's taking you to tweak to your leads. Actually, it's great to have leads in the first place. So now that thing's solved, you can look to the next thing, and then there'll be another problem undoubtedly, which is that you'll have so many clients that you now can't fulfill on, and you need to continue to build a team. But that's the journey, isn't it? And we love it.
Yeah, and I think a lot about comparison, and it's really important not to compare yourself to others. But what I try and do is compare myself to myself the day before, and always try and be 1% better. So that is my current problem at the moment, and I need to get 1% better every day to solve that problem. And like you say, don't look back, look forward. Be grateful that you've got all those leads sat, and try and find a way in your business to not create excuses, but say, right, okay, if it's taking me 3 days to call those leads, that's not acceptable. How can we solve that problem?
Yeah, because your actual circumstances don't matter, do they? What matters is how the lead and the prospect feels throughout the sales process. And that's what everyone's missing really, is that they don't have a robust sales process that's actually relevant for their offer. But Chris, how did it feel to work with me and Hal as people? Because a massive part of what we do, and something we actually say to people before we work with them, is that we have to get on with you. It's really important to us. We come into work to enjoy ourselves, and we want to enjoy working with the clients. But how did it feel to work with us? Because I know online, especially Hal, can look like two scary dudes, skinheads, go to the gym, quite authoritative in the way we speak. But how does it actually feel for you?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed working with you, and I think that there's two things here. The first one is you're genuine, you actually really care, and there's two things in a business. Every business has got to make money, and you've got to try and sell your product, but you guys are selling your product because you generally want people to do better. And I think that's what I try and instill in my business, is that when I'm selling, I'm not selling, I'm trying to help people using my offer, and I think you guys do that very well. But you've also got a good mix of no BS as well. Like, if I come to you with a problem, it's not like, oh, feel sorry for you, Chris. It's no, look, this is what you need to do, and stop giving me excuses. And I really like that approach, and that's one way you can really improve yourself personally and in business, that just don't accept excuses, think of how to solve it. And I think that approach is really good. You've got that quite, not aggressive, but that straight to the point approach, which is really, really important. And I think you guys are using that in your business every day. I can see that straight to the point. How do we improve? And I think that transfers to your client, and I can see it on other people's videos that work with you. They're all saying the same thing. You're genuine and you're improving people's businesses.
Thank you, mate. Where that comes from, the directness, is because, like I say, it's the incessant need for progress. Hal and I hate wasting time. We hate it. So any filler words, anything that is like fluff advice, we completely cut it out, because we want you guys to get the result. And yet, it is because we obviously want people to do well, but we also want to make money ourselves as a business. So if we can give you advice that's going to get you to the result quicker, irregardless if it hurts your feelings or not, we give it, because then we can market that result and get more clients. And that is the truth of it. But mate, look, you've been an absolute star to work with. I've really enjoyed it. Chris has left us now. He's not even working with us, apart from doing a VSL today, which again, we were talking about emotion, weren't we? Initially you were coming across just trying to read the words on the screen, as opposed to making the prospect feel something behind the camera. But Chris has gone on now to go and do his own stuff. He's building his own landing pages, he's running his own ads, he's doing his own content, managing his own sales team that he's going to be doing very soon. And that's the exact result that we want with people. We don't want people to feel like they have to stay with us. You get the knowledge, you get the result, and then you move on and do your own stuff. Yeah. So well done, mate.
No, I appreciate that, Kenny.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.